Welcome back to the grand finals here at Caesars Palace. The HyperX D2L rolls on. We're down to the nitty-gritty. Fnatic taking on LGD China. What once was a best of 5 is now an even playing field at best of 3 as Fnatic negates that early one-game advantage that LGD had earned for coming through the upper bracket and puts themselves that much closer to doing what many would have thought to be impossible. Looking back at game 1, Fnatic, their unpredictability, LGD and their predictability. What is really more responsible for that standout performance by Fnatic in game 1?
I think it's more Fnatic's unpredictability, just because LGD doesn't know how to draft against it either. Like, they kind of drafted for a heavy carry Storm Spirit, but that rarely works out, especially with the Smart Side device pickup from Shadow Fiend too. Right. So, Fnatic, wow, they got Alchemist. Wow.
Yeah, Alchemist, one of the few times we've seen him make it through.
That's scary.
Actually picked up by Fnatic, and we've talked about it all throughout the last couple of days. The hero has been largely banned in the first phase. Only the second time we've seen the hero come out of the first ban phase with no attention given to him, and both times he's been first picked. And you know, as a former competitive player yourself, Ben, you say consistently that Alchemist, in your opinion, is probably the most unanimously declared slightly OP hero in the pool right now. You want to run down why that's the case?
Sure. Firstly, he's very flexible, so you can pick him first and not be pigeonholed into any sort of strategy. You can run minus armor strategy with him. You can run a carry Alchemist and out-Greevil's greet somebody. You can just run him support with a roaming Crystal Maiden and just kill everybody on the map. And his spells are just far too powerful. I like to compare his Unstable Concoction compared to Roar. It's a 4-second max stun. It's 360 damage, I believe, and it's like 1/4 of the cooldown. And it has longer range too. So that combined with the damage potential addition from Acid Spray too, with that potential minus armor, it can like blow up like 450, 500 damage on support heroes. So that spell is just ridiculously powerful. Acid Spray is also so good in lane and in pushing and anti-pushing too. So it does a lot of things. It's also very good for Roshan. Its Greevil's Greed is whatever. Chemical Rage is actually very, very good. I'd actually say it's like slightly buffed with the regeneration instead of max HP, just because it's very difficult to burst him down now. And he is just so effective at roaming and getting so many things accomplished. And yeah, there is a drawback to Unstable Concoction, but oftentimes professional players won't actually stun themselves with it. So yeah, he's just extremely, extremely strong.
Taking a look at the way the rest of the draft has gone so far, Visage and Nature's Prophet picked up very quickly by LGD after banning once again Enchantress and Io. And I would expect those two heroes to be the most consistent bans we're probably going to see throughout the entire finals unless they decide.
And a Shadow Fiend ban too.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend in 3rd position. So a lot of respect bans coming out from LGD, just knowing Fnatic is a team that thrives on being able to pick their strengths. Speaking of strengths, Fnatic, the team to ban Luna this time. AUI had a standout performance in game 1. They also take away the Necrophos from LGD, something we've seen them run to very good effect. So no doubt about it, both of these teams have done their homework and doing everything they can to take away the bread and butter of each side.
Ooh, an Assassin. This will be very good for LGD because they had a lot of problems last game trying to use Smoke Inks to get kills. They didn't do it most of the time. They really need the initiation from like a Blink Slardar like we saw from Aoi in one of the Vici games versus Fnatic, or the help of Vendetta. Just to get the jump. And they were just very rarely able to get the jump on Fnatic. Yeah, Doom can like walk in and doom somebody, or DK can like BKB walk up and stun somebody, but that's just not the same as an invisibility initiation.
5 seconds.
Bristleback going to be the 3rd pickup coming out from Fnatic. So depending on how they want to run this, it's hard to tell. Would that be a mid, support, or carry Alchemist? Nonetheless, two very tanky heroes right off the bat. When you look at LGD, it's a very similar problem to what we've seen plague them coming into this series. They are kind of pigeonholed right now. They need to make sure they add some more sustained damage. They've got some bursts from Nyx. Nature's Prophet can eventually start to build DPS. Visage, excellent at burst damage so long as there's no BKBs out. But Alchemist and Bristleback, two heroes that can and often do bring out an early BKB, and that could cause problems, especially if they decide to farm the Alchemist. Or, to tell you the truth, I mean, the Nyx Assassin tough to track down, but Prophet and Visage already very appetizing targets for Crystal Maiden and Alchemist if they decide to run that as a roaming support tandem.
They could do an Elder Titan too. and throw that into Fnatic's mix of a lineup and just have heavy minus armor, LGD would just crumble to that sort of damage. They could also run a Slar Dart too if they wanted to. Although there is no Shadow Fiend this game, so I'm curious as to what they're going to pick for Demon, because the Shadow Fiend has been just by far his best hero this tournament.
We saw earlier Demon run a mid Beastmaster. That would give them some additional initiation. The aura, the inner beast aura, would be nice if it is a carry alchemist. Hell, that's a very nice aura for Bristleback as well. So that's something to keep in mind.
The right-click Crystal Maiden. Don't forget about her.
Exactly. You know, rush out that early Midas. Storm Spirit will be the pickup from LGD. And we saw Rabbit do exceptionally well on that hero. Unfortunately, the rest of his team just unable to keep pace with him. And there's that Elder Titan you talked about. Mass armor reduction between Acid Spray, Quill Spray, or the goo from Bristleback, rather, and Elder Titan.
Yep, and now they're lacking like an instant disable for Storm Spirit if they want to go that route, or they could just go mass damage like they did last game. I don't think that either one is better than the other. You really have to wait to see what LGD has as their last pick, and Xiaowei plays a pretty nasty Storm Spirit too, so it's going to be on Fly and No-Tail as it is usually, which they haven't underperformed in that aspect, to keep Storm Spirit down early. We saw how often they destroyed the Dragon Knight in the middle game last game. If they do the same to the Storm Spirit, LGD is going to have a very rough mid-game going into them. And I must say, after watching the first game and after seeing Fnatic play a couple of series, I had to put them as the favorites for this match. And the draft, too. I think the draft is slightly favoring them.
This is exactly why you play the games instead of just having them play out on paper. On paper, everyone would have written off, and most people did write off Fnatic. But based on recent performance, I don't think there's any doubt at this point. Momentum on the side of Fnatic, the crowd here on the side of Fnatic, without a doubt. And I would imagine a lot of viewers at home wanting to see the upset and wanting to see the esports drama and storylines unfold in a way much unexpected.
So Death Prophet and Nyx have both been taken out. Death Prophet, we've seen Aoi play a couple of times, and the Lifestealer has been taken out to take away the Storm Spirit and Lifestealer potential Nyx bomb. And also Rabbit plays a pretty devastating Lifestealer too, and he's not a hero that we have that we've seen too much of lately. And I also think he would fall to the mass minus armor from Alchemist, from Bristleback, and from Elder Titan, but he's still just extremely annoying to deal with and very difficult to kill in lane.
Waiting on the fifth pick out on both sides. LGD down to the last of their bonus time. Fnatic seems to have had a pretty good idea. They are going to go ahead and get the Dragon Knight. And
it's going to be the same thing as last game.
Yep.
Except without the Shadow Fiend on Fnatic. So LGD running pretty much the same thing. I guess Rubik exchange for Nyx and Nature's Prophet exchange for Doombringer. But I mean, all in all, it's in essence the same hero, the same playstyle. And I don't know if LGD should be doing that again. It's not like they played poorly last game either. It's just like Fnatic just played better than them, and they drafted better.
Again, the issue, when you look at their damage output, mostly magical for most phases of the game. Eventually, Dragon Knight will try to get up something like an Assault Cuirass, and he might be able to do some right-click Nature's Prophet if he decides to transition to DPS after an early Midas, which has become the standard and has been for quite some time. But, you know, again, you look at Fnatic, depending on how they want to play this, don't know if that's a mid or a farming alchemist. Either way, BKB, a very solid option for him. Bristleback, the exact same thing. BKB on him, very common. And there's just going to be a lot of ways LGD can find themselves in trouble against those two heroes. As you mentioned, all of the strength that Alchemist has, the fact that they do have mass minus armor, the fact they do have a number of slows, Bristleback with the goo, Crystal Maiden with Nova, and so on and so forth. I mean, everything about Fnatic's squad just lumps together and makes it very difficult for this LGD team to do much unless they execute exceptionally well. Will be a Kunkka pickup. And again, another team fight monster going on to this Fnatic composition.
Yep, they're going to have a lot of kill potential in the middle lane if Alchemist and Crystal Maiden roam early, which they definitely should. It's okay for them to lead the Nature's Prophet up top just because he's going to be very scared. Actually, he's going to be Nature's Prophet on bottom because LGD is on Dire's side. So I expect Fnatic to play pretty much the same way they've been playing. They leave Trixie pretty much alone and off defend for himself in the off lane, and they babysit the crap out of Kunkka, which will be played by Demon. It will be a farming alchemist actually. So not really what I expected here. It will be Fly on the Crystal Maiden, Elder Titan played by No-Tail yet again.
10 seconds.
And just as we're ready to load in, No-Tail We saw on the Elder
5
Titan
seconds remaining.
an absolute spark plug for Fnatic against Vici Gaming, and really throughout that whole series has, I mean, hell, throughout most of the tournament, if there's any one player you can point to as being responsible more so than anyone else for Fnatic's success, it is No-Tail. Of course, it's always a team effort, but he just hasn't had any bad games. He's always done his job. His IO play has been phenomenal, and no matter what hero he's put on, he's always managed to not only do his job, but to get a little extra out of it as well. So the teams are moving out. We'll take a look at our lineup, see who's handling who. Fly, the captain, going to be playing on Crystal Maiden once again, while No-Tail, second time tonight, takes the reins of the Elder Titan. We'll have Demon handling our Kunkka with Bristleback, played again by Trixie. And Alchemist, only second time we've seen him throughout the entire D2L Grand Finals. He'll be farmed by AUI 2000. Other side of the river, Zhao 8's going to be on the Storm Spirit this time around. Visage played by DDC. This time around, Rabbit will actually be taking the DK mid. Nyx Assassin handled by DD. And the Nature's Prophet going to be played in the off lane by Yao.
And there's a little bit of unpredictability, I suppose. LGD using Xiao 8 in the safe lane and Rabbit in the mid lane. But, I mean, that's about as far as their unpredictability goes. Just switching roles sometimes, Xiao 8 and Yao and Rabbit. In the meantime, we see Fnatic taking control. Oh, there might actually be a skirmish on top. Nope.
And Fly poking his nose around. Looks like DD's going to have an eye
The battle begins.
on the top rune spot, and it will spawn bottom. It'll be an invis, as looks like No-Tail will be the one to find it.
Yep, he has 2 clarities up. LGD has him as a reward down here. They should be able to scout out the lane. Yes, they will see Aoi in the bottom lane. That will confirm their suspicions that it will be a farming Alchemist.
Gonna be a, at least for the moment, one-on-one situation down here. Or, nope, never mind. Thought we were gonna see No-Tail rotate elsewhere with that invis rune. Instead, coming out in the lane, gonna spot out Yao, and they might take a run at something here. Yep, Unstable Concoction is there. He's trying to body block him. Unfortunately, let him get past. They're gonna do a fair amount of damage, but I don't think they're going to have the right click to finish him off. And No-Tail taking a tower shot. Made a bit of a mistake there. Might have been able to make that happen. Missed the body block though.
Yeah, he actually he went too far. He went in for 1 hit on Yao, and in the meantime, he took 3 hits from Yao as well as 2 tower hits. So I don't think that 1 hit was worth it, and he's forced to trade regen in a negative manner after that. Yao going with the boots first should be able to be perfectly okay, especially with Fly pulling creeps.
You can see Trixie already up to level 2. He is getting a lot out of this solo off lane. Fly, as you mentioned, doing his work in the jungle on Crystal Maiden. I expect he'll start to get active very soon, either taking a shot in mid or rotating over to try and bring down Yao as an early first blood attempt. Here in mid, Rabbit and Demon going toe for toe, 5 and 2 apiece.
Yep, early clarity popped on Crystal Maiden. She has skilled Arcane Aura instead of Crystal Nova. We see Trixie exchanging some blows with DDC. Trixie running low on mana. I mean, he did not do too well in the last game that he played Bristleback, but at the same time, his teammates got so much accomplished on the other side of the map that it was perfectly okay that he didn't do that much. Kunkka going for the same build that he did the other game, 1-1-1 at level 3, most likely into level 2 X marks the spot at level 4.
Yeah, and we saw Demon play quite a good Kunkka on his previous appearance on the hero.
Oh, there's a haste rune on top. Rabbit actually may grab it, and with the support rotation from DD, they may be able to get a kill, actually. Demon's very low.
DD keeping an eye on it. Rabbit will make his way out. Does not have his bottle on him. And actually he does. Was looking at the wrong inventory, so able to bottle that up and save it for a rainy day.
Yep, Captain Bamboo headed back home.
Elsewhere, Trixie continues to do fairly well. He's almost to level 3 now. And you take a look at Yao, right about the same for him as well. But Alchemist, of course, getting a fair amount of farm, sitting near the top of the leaderboard at 13. He has put 2 points into Greevil's Greed, so once again, Fnatic deciding to play with that greedy style.
I haven't seen a farming Alchemist in such a long time. It's mostly just been support with the occasional solo mid, but Alchemist is a absolute beast of a farmer, and we saw how farmed he got on the Luna last game with complete free farm. With Alchemist, it's just going to be even more ridiculous.
And so far, very wisely, Yao staying back and staying safe. Back here in mid, we can see Rabbit still hanging on to that haste rune, at least for the moment. 1-1-2 was indeed the build out of Demon, so X-Torrents on the menu if and when Fly decides to come out. Fly already is level 2. He'll be level 3 very soon. And when he is, I wouldn't be surprised to see him immediately take a run at that mid lane after using that one clarity in his inventory.
Yep, stacking a lot of the small creeps too. Will be very easy for Demon to take out with Torrents and or Tidebringer. And he's only connected with one Torrent yet, but he has plenty of mana spare. Actually, Fly heading over to mid. No, maybe.
I'm surprised. I mean, he's in good shape to take a run at this. He's got plenty of mana.
Oh, he's trying to hook up with Elder Titan.
There it is.
But there's a haste pop by Rabbit.
Rabbit still caught by the Torrent. Can they catch him? Nope, able to scurry away. They didn't pop the smoke, though. So not a total waste, at least not yet. They're going to go ahead and rotate elsewhere. Rabbit keeping an eye. There's an invis actually picked up by No Tail, so if nothing else, denying the rune a win for Fnatic there. And No Tail's not done yet. He's going to go ahead and poke his nose back into mid. Might just sit right at the ridge line. And Demon, knowing that the haste rune is now expired, might go for it again, and he will. And X-Torrent, actually missed it. First blood, missed. No, they might get it anyway. Here comes the TPN. Do they have the damage? Rabbit ducks away. Here's DD and the TPN from Yao. This could be a big turnaround. Impale's off the mark. Fly, Demon, and No Tail managing to get away despite a fail gank on their part.
Wow, if the Torrent connected, easy first blood on Rabbit. If the Impale connected, easy first blood. So I guess it's about even since both of them miss out on opportunities there. This does free up a little bit of space for Trixie on top and Yao on bottom with all the supports going mid lane. And I expect mid to be a pretty hot point of contest. I think both teams need wards up in middle. Actually, Demon still has his ward up. In case they want to protect him. We see Xiao 8 almost level 6. We might see a TP rotation from him at level 6 for first blood. We see No Tail and Fly hooking up again in the middle. The Rabbit in a lot of trouble.
Rabbit holding ground on the high ground. There's another X. He has to be wary of this all the time. Torrent's going to be off the mark. DD manages to get first blood elsewhere on the map. They should be able to bring him down. And no, he's going to turn and breathe fire, and No Tail drops as well. And Fly is in trouble as Xiao lands in. He gets off the frostbite. One auto attack, though, and a disastrous turnaround. The first blood taking place elsewhere on the map, while two are fed here in mid. Rabbit just a little too tough to bring down, and at this point, he is getting quite a bit ahead here in this middle lane.
If they had enough mana on Crystal Maiden there, they would have been able to get the kill. He was like 10 mana away from a frostbite, and instead they had a tower dive after the X-Torrent. But, I mean, it all goes back to that first X-Torrent. If they kill him there, he wouldn't be that high level. He wouldn't have been able to get the kill with the Breathe Fire. He would have just died to an earlier burst, too. So, I mean, that first blood cost him, or that failed attempt at first blood cost him so heavily, and Trixie gave it up in top lane in the meantime.
AUI, 3 points in Agreeable's Greed, 2 in Unstable Concoction, not a single in Acid Spray. Did take his ult at 6, though. And should be accumulating a bit of gold, and he is. He's already opened up a 600 gold lead in pure out-and-out net worth just from farming, so quite good for him. In the meantime, Xiao 8 not in bad shape on the Storm Spirit. He's next on the list. Last hits are right there with the Alchemist down at bottom. Looks like we have the potential for some action as a lot of the roaming supports now giving attention to Nature's Prophet.
Yep, they did drop in as a reward right as Fly and No Tail were headed down to bottom lane, and it looks like Furion will live to see another day. He also went for phase boost, not a greedy build by him. Same with Alchemist, he went with a power tread, so no early Midas out from him, although he has 1,500 gold to his name.
See Trixie.
Ooh, barely dodges a Impale in mid.
Trixie continuing to make up some ground. He's almost level 5, taking this Ancient stack now. And we saw him do this earlier as well. No Tail and Fly once again together and want to take a shot at Rabbit. Demon has not been on the money with his X-Torrents or his boats, and this time it'll be dodged again. Rabbit rushes through it. DD's going to be there, has an Impale, will spend it. It's actually split and avoided. There's Nature's Wrath, though, doing nice amounts of damage. They're going to be able to bring down No Tail once again. Demon pops a haste, and that'll be his ticket to home. But so far, the aggressive roaming out of Fnatic that has given them so much success through the tournament so far has been completely and utterly stymied by LGD.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just on Demon missing these X's. It's not easy to pull off, but he did them so well in the other game. I was pretty confident that he was able to pull it off in this game, but this early game is disastrous for Fnatic. And now Xiao 8's getting a little bit out of control too.
And AUI, a nice point for them. AUI looked like he was going to be teleported on Rabbit, bottles up a DD, and they may try to push down a tower. with him being level 8 now, having the DD up, and DD himself already
Radiant's
to
top
level
tower
4.
is under
This
attack.
mid-tier 1 might be a nice appetizing target.
Nice creep stacking and creeping by Aoi here, making full use out of his level 4 Greevil's Greed. In middle lane, Demon gets stunned.
Demon stunned out, DD there, DD. Didn't even need the help of Yao. The double damage rune popped by Rabbit made that, and
They don't have a high ground ward anymore, so Nyx is stunned from the high ground.
fait accompli as soon as they caught him with the Dragon Tail. Just too much damage output this phase of the game. No Tail, who played so well before, is struggling a bit here today and here in this series. 0-2 now on the Elder Titan, and had a good game last game, but needs to bounce back. They really need a lot out of him.
Demon seems, as you like to say, very feast or famine player. He was like 1-12 on the Elder Titan. The Shadow Fiend game, he just absolutely dominated. The only game I've seen him do like decent was his Doombringer game, but this game, he has not been performing.
He's just, you have to hit your X Torrents. They're going to try
There
it
it goes.
again. And there's the jump away. Zhao 8 able to avoid it. And Demon likely to pay the price. Overextended that time right into all of LGD. And he drops for free, and off of that, DDC will summon his familiars, and looks like they're ready to push down a tier 2.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
It's not a good idea to X-Torrent Xiao 8 because he can just jump as he anticipates the return, and he will not be brought back. So, I mean, even if they had it, where was the support follow-up to? And now the T2 tower falls, and Aoi has to join his team very, very soon. He has 3,300 gold. He can get a Shadow Blade and start trying to kill some people, but at the same time, Nyx is almost level 6 too. He is about 5 2/3. Once he gets that Vendetta up, Fnatic is going to be scrambling to find any semblance of map control.
Rabbit continues to play very well. We've seen some Dragon Knight failures out of LGD in the past, but this time starting out 3-0, 2-0. Really a big boon for Yao as well. Already has his Midas, his phase, and 800 gold. He's actually built an armlet, though, here on the Alchemist. Armlet Alchemist. I've seen it before, but not very often.
Yep, this is going to be a tough game for Fnatic. Their lineup is not really that sort of like comebacky. It's more snowball-y. Alchemist, though, we still haven't seen anything out of him. 0-0-0. He has spent his gold. What is it? It's actually an armlet. So he's going for an armlet tanky build. He does need something that helps his team out very, very soon, though, because if he doesn't, if he just goes more farming items, let's say a Midas or a Battle Fury, he just gets picked off by Storm Spirit, just gets picked off by Nyx with a Nature's Prophet TPing in.
Trixie found his level 6 quite some time ago, now level 7 LGD. Under cover of smoke, moving into the Radiant side jungle, wants to make something happen. In the meantime, though, looks like Zhao 8 caught out. He's going to jump into the trees. And Aoi not able to track him down. Here comes the return aggression. There's the Vendetta and a two-man impale out of DD. And in comes the Nature's Prophet. AUI brought down the Sprout and the Grave Chill on the no-tail. And this is an utter domination in the laning phase and early phase of this game. We're 12 minutes in. Fnatic has laid a goose egg as LGD leads 8-0.
4,000 gold lead, about to extend to 5,500 after this, and now the Alchemist pick has kind of fallen flat. He's going for his BKB. He wasn't able to pop his armlet, I don't think, during that engagement. Very nice two-man stun by DD, though, to set up that fight. And now they're pressuring the T2. Why stop?
This could be the second tier 2 tower brought down in the first 13 minutes, unless Fnatic is ready to commit everything they have to this. Zhao 8 pops a haste. He's already on the way. They might try to take a fight behind the tower if they see anyone come too far forward. We can already see the Treant and the Familiars waiting to find a target. And no, it's not even going to be contested. Fnatic running out of real estate. Only 2 towers still standing, while every tower remains standing for LGD.
And the items are coming fast and furious on the side of LGD. We see Yao with his Midas, phase almost Necro 1-up. We see Dragon Knight well on his way to BKB, just 1 Mithril Hammer away. And we see Storm Spirit well on his way to Orchid too. About half of it completed with an Oblivion Staff, Ribbed with the Magi, and 700 gold in his inventory. And now, as soon as LGD takes out the T1 tower in mid, they can just take the take Roshan out, get the Aegis on Storm Spirit, and then just take complete control of Fnatic's side of the map. Fnatic, they need to stack, they need to take out the Ancients, but One of the supports is already on it. Visage already sending his motors up there, keeping track of what Fnatic is trying to do, and they are just scrambling for levels, scrambling for farm, trying to get their BKBs up before LGD just rolls over them with his huge gold advantage and experience.
Orchid not far away right now for Zhao 8. Already has one Oblivion Staff and a Robe of the Mage on the way to it. And that's going to be a medallion pickup for DD, so going to increase their physical damage output. And this is really just looking kind of bleak. AUI trying to get that BKB up, as you mentioned, still quite a ways away. Only has the Ogre Club up, does have 700 towards it from towards his Mithril Hammer. But right now, LGD is just in such a commanding position that it's going to be very, very tough for him to get out and try to free farm at all anymore.
Yep, and they're trying to stall the push. They don't have that great anti-push. I guess max level Acid Spray and like a Astral Spirit can do some work, but Elder Titan's only level 5.
Under attack.
Demon awaiting support. Most of Fnatic is there, but yet another tower under assault. Glyph not available anymore. And down it goes. They're going to jump on Demon. There's an Impale to grab him as well, and he's blown up before he has a chance to do anything. And AUI stunned out with the Unstable Concoction up. Can he out-heal Zhao 8? No. They end up trading 1-for-1 buyback from Demon as he wants to get back into the fight, but Trixie doing his job, just not enough of it. Oh, good boat from the buyback on Demon. Rabbit and Yao in trouble. Rabbit trying to scurry away. Here comes Storm Spirit, though. Earth Splitter's there. DDC next on the list, and in the meantime, No Tail trying to pursue out Yao behind the fight. There's another Vortex onto Demon. He's brought down, and DDC makes it a triple kill for himself as LGD loses a couple, but buybacks expended on both sides. Nonetheless, another fortuitous trade for them. 13-3 once the dust settles.
Yep, and now Roshan has opened up for them after they've taken out the T1. Zhao 8 manages to pick up a haste rune on the bottom. His Orchid will still come out at a very reasonable pace too. He just needs 25 gold until then, and meanwhile Kunkka did buy back, but he has no items coming out. He has a Bracer, he has a Magic Wand, he has Phase Boost and Bottle, but that is it. Yao already starting out Roshan. The Necro popped out. It's actually never Necro 2, so yep, this is looking to be pretty dicey. Zhao 8 most likely going to be the Aegis carrier from them. The amount of space that Fnatic can roam around the map is pretty much limited to, let's say, right about here, I'd say, is the amount of space that they can farm. LGD has full control of both Ancients, 9 out of 10 of the neutral camps right now, and Fnatic just has to feel very, very threatened, even under the cover of their T2s. Their supports are too poor to afford mass entry wards. There are 2 on Fly, so they can try and get some idea of where Nyx Assassin is, but it's still a tough and long road to victory.
And we can see they're hemmed in and really not with any opportunity to contest this. They're going to glyph it and try to get everyone in line. But trying to take a fight at this stage, going to be some tough going. Following the Roshan. And I mean, it's just like if you're in Fnatic's shoes right now, Ben, is there any way you can legitimately hope to get yourself back into this other than just hoping LGD makes a lot of mistakes?
Nope, that's pretty much all you can do. I mean, you can hope for some good initiations. Oh,
here we go. Storm going to jump in. Trixie with Dragon Tail. They're going to grab Demon again. Zhao 8 taking a lot of damage. Is it enough? They pop the Aegis. Earth Splitter's there as well. AUI and Demon both very low. There's a Sprout on 2. AUI. Demon makes it away despite eating a lot of damage from the Soul Assumption, and Zhao 8 continues to go to work, but jumps right into the boat. And No Tail finds himself on a killing spree following that. Lot of damage done on both sides. Only 1 casualty, though. And a mistake from Zhao 8. They do manage to get a return kill. DD bringing down No Tail. He'll carapace, and no! TP a little too slow. So a 2-for-1 trade in whole, but that was the last tower Fnatic had standing, and it's now a shambles.
That was a huge fight for Fnatic right there. LGD just felt nearly invincible with the Aegis up, and they've taken down 6 towers to Fnatic 0. So the gold graph just from towers, oh wow, about 10,000 lead from there. But that doesn't mean that they don't have a lot of gold in the bank. And there is a Radiant Courier dying. Yao in a little bit of trouble. Fly gets stunned out and just dies.
Fly dead in mid. In the meantime, they continue to pursue Yao out. And there's the X. Torrent should be on the mark. They're going to spend a boat on it too. Securing the kill and Demon finding his rhythm. Rabbit rushes in off of a haste room, but he outran his whole team. And unable to get there in time to save Yao. But Fnatic showing signs of life, not willing to just give up and trying to keep this game together.
Yeah, LGD just needs to play a starving game right now. That was a disastrous fight at the T2, but they don't need to make a move for the T3 anytime soon. They can just wait with Nyx Assassin, wait with Storm Spirit for Fnatic to overextend, overfarm, get out of their comfort zone, and then just punish them for it. And if not, just outfarm the whole entire map, get stacked on Dragon Knight, be very annoying with Nature's Prophet and Necronomicon 3, get huge on Storm Spirit, and win the game from there. Fnatic, they need to try and find some sort of opportunities. They have BKB on Alchemist. Trixie is somewhat tanky with his Vanguard, his cloak, and halfway to his mech. But Demon is really the big sufferer here. 1, 4, and 3 on him. Ogre Club, no BKB in sight. And now look at Fnatic. They sit in their base. LGD, they're 5-man farming on the opposite side of the map, yet Fnatic can't even exit their base, except with a smoke.
And for the moment, LGD has decided to give Fnatic some breathing room, falling back to farm some items. DDC wants a scepter, and don't know, yeah, he's got a little bit of it on the
There's a smoke from LGD too.
Roshan not back up for 4 or 5 minutes or so. But looks like they want to go ahead and
LGD needs a mech.
Yeah, that would certainly help quite a lot. And yeah, they decided to go ahead and pull back. They're just looking for some easy picks, not wanting to overcommit it at this stage. And DD going to go ahead and go under cover of Vendetta. No targets nearby, though, as everyone from Fnatic...
No, he's going to walk into the Sentry Ward.
Everyone from Fnatic is tucked up under their own tier 3s. And looks like LGD continuing to take their time. And might be a mechanism they're waiting on. Or maybe just a BKB on Xiao 8. Why rush?
They could just wait for the next Roshan too. I mean, they're not under any pressure, and Fnatic's not out-farming them. The only way they can increase their gold from right now, I guess, is Greevil's Greed, but they can't farm the Ancients. Like, the supports on the side of LGD are farming the Radiant Ancients right now. Fnatic, they can farm this creep camp because they have a sentry right outside, or they had one right outside, and they have the Observer Ward there, but they can't even venture forth to this camp without feeling very, very threatened.
And LGD continuing to just farm away. Nyx is tanked up all right. He's got a couple of bracers to go with his medallions, so sitting on about 13 armor, as well as 1,000+ gold. Shadowblade finished on Rabbit in the meantime, so getting himself some much-needed attack speed and damage. Xiao 8, 1,900 gold in the bank, so slowly closing the gap. Needs about another 1,000 gold for his own BKB, and I think that's going to end up being the item that is the go word. Mechanism is done on DDC, so other than that, yeah, I think the BKB on Xiao 8 is really all they're waiting on.
They have the Shadowblade on Rabbit too, so Rabbit can just pick anyone off, and heroes on Fnatic had to keep expending money on sentries. They have a wide area to cover here. They need like a sentry here, they need like a sentry here. Oh, here we go.
And there's the impale on the AUI, caught out. Rabbit right there with him. He's already bursted down to half health. Can they get him? There's an Earth Splitter coming out, and beautifully shot. They're going to try to turn this around and succeed in picking off the Nyx Assassin. No Tail and Demon going to work. And we see Xiao 8 bouncing away as best he can. Yao has to run, but Demon maybe overextending. Will be picked up with a right click. There's a freezing field from Fly, doing good damage as DDC is pursued out. Xiao 8 manages to come in, making a 1-for-1 trade. Trixie sprouted in and Vortex out. That's
Rabbit chasing down Aoi too.
And managing to catch him. This is going to be 5. Can they kill him fast enough? No! Good armlet toggling. Don't know how much it's going to matter, though, as Roshan should be up fairly soon, and they're going to be able to pressure at least a little bit on this tier 3.
They got the 2 least important heroes on the side of LGD too. They got the Nyx Assassin as well as the Visage, and on the side of Fnatic, their most important heroes died. I guess aside from Aoi, Demon keeps on dying in these fights as well as Bristleback, and they're trying to tank up. Roshan is going to respawn fairly shortly. LGD still with complete map control. Fnatic trying to extend the region they can farm to about this area, but after losing that fight, they're kind of forced to sit at their T3 or very close.
5-digit lead. 12,000 and 10,000 respectively. And the experience and gold for LGD. And we're just at 22 minutes. This is one of those games that is not been quiet. We've had some quiet games with not a lot of kills. This time around, though, we've had 27 kills in a 23-minute game. So the game feeling quite a bit longer. Fnatic, though, wanting to extend it even more as they move out under cover of smoke, looking for a target to the north.
Yep, they're waiting on Roshan. Still 30 seconds until the earliest possible respawn. Alchemist looks like he's going for an AC next. And LGD, they're trying to get the jump on Aoi, but he's able to pop his BKB, Armlet, and Chemical Rager all the way back up to full. Looks like they're actually trying to take a fight.
And Rabbit caught with the unstable concoction. There's going to be a Torrent. The X-Torrent completely screwed up by Demon. And now they're going to try to chase it out. AUI caught with another impale. They're going to continue to focus him down. Can they bring him down fast enough? Earth Splitter's there, and the BKB is going to secure AUI and his escape. Fnatic still taking a lot of damage. A 2-hero Sprout will end up giving them another big exchange. They lost the Nyx Assassin, but they managed to get the Kunkka and the Bristleback just as Roshan is preparing to respawn. This is lucky for Fnatic, actually. A relatively long respawn on Roshan, going to be just about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, very lucky for them. But again, the two important heroes keep on dying, Kunkka and Bristleback, and Alchemist was very close to dying there. So, I mean, Fnatic, they're like not trading too poorly in these fights, but they're not getting any further ahead. Whereas we see DK managing to survive most of these fights, Storm Spirit getting even larger and larger. Nature's Prophet with a Desolator picked up after his Necro 3 is going to be a terror come 30 minutes into the game. So LGD just biding their time, waiting for Roshan to respawn. Still about 2 minutes left into that. They can just send Nature's Prophet Trans into there now and then. But LGD, they know exactly where Fnatic is with his reward scouts out, 4 of them right now. And they are perfectly content with just farming the whole entire map right now.
And we can see LGD moving back onto the enemy side at least a little bit, trying to take away the jungle. DDC going to hook up with DD while Rabbit farms the jungle, and Zhao 8 with zero fear farms all the way up past the original standing point of the tier 2 in bottom lane. And Fnatic still unable to really get out and accomplish much of anything. We can see Vendetta being used by DD, and he's going to have a chance to catch AUI. He has no support near him, though, so even if he did catch him, pretty much an impossibility he'd be able to burst him. Finally, Fnatic does get a mechanism. This will be carried by Trixie.
Yeah, LGD can farm like pretty much all this side of the map right now, and that's just so much farm for them. And Fnatic, they're just forced to stay in this tiny little area, and they just feel so threatened. And LGD just been doing a very good job of making Fnatic feel scared, starving them out inside their entire base. And meanwhile, Fnatic just has no idea where LGD are. Are they out to gank them? Are they farming our own Ancients? Are they waiting for Roshan? Are they farming our jungle? They just have no clue. They can't set up wards right now. There is a gem up on DDC just to ensure complete map domination from the Chinese.
Fnatic continuing to be hemmed in. They're really hoping Greevil's Greed will be the tide-turning element for them, but kind of a fat chance of that, as we can see. Even with that, even with AUI having very much free farm early on, and still very early in this game, by the way, 26 minutes in, so still a lot of Dota to be played.
Roshan right about to respawn. DD's just going to park himself in there.
Yep. And we'll see it immediately. But even with up, he's actually going to exit. Oh, did he see it? Yep, he saw it. So Roshan up, and
there's a smoke from Fnatic. This is their time. They want to turn things around right now. 15,000 gold lead from LGD.
Let's see if Fnatic's got the goods. Can they keep this game in reach?
They know. I think they know they smoked though. It's just too obvious. They aren't farming this area, which is right up next to their T3, even though Furion could backdoor it at any time. So LGD just not even putting themselves at risk for a Roshan steal, because if Fnatic goes in, they're gonna get wrecked. So they cannot take down Roshan. LGD can just wait for Fnatic to go back and defend their base. Look at this Necro 3 plus Strain. They have to do something about it.
And yep, there's the TP out, and this should be.
It's a free Roshan now.
Yep, and they had a ward in place as well, so they've seen the retreat, and yeah.
Oh, they're actually going in.
They're going to jump and managing to grab out AUI. Impale to follow it up. Can they kill him? Trixie showing off the mech, but the burst too much. It was a free Roshan to begin with. Now it's more than free, and we're going to see Zhao continue to bounce all over the map.
Such smart play from LGD, though. The thing is, they didn't even put themselves at risk for a Roshan Jack by not attempting it. They knew that the only way they're going to lose the fight is if they get low from doing a Roshan. Roshan is low, and they're forced to stick around. By doing this, they either get free damage on a T3, which is amazing, or they get a free Roshan. And looks like it'll be a free Roshan plus a kill.
And Storm Spirit takes the Aegis, and that could just about be that. And They may wait out another item or two. DDC relatively close to a scepter, 3,300 gold for Zhao 8, but at this point, feels like they could just about end the game at will.
They could just wait for more item. Dragonite fairly close to its AC. They can finish that before the Aegis expiration. Visage fairly close to a Scepter, which they can also finish before Aegis expiration too. Storm Spirit has 3,700 gold. He could finish a Sheep too. So, I mean, LGD could wait for these three fairly big ticket items before they make the venture up to the T3. I mean, Fnatic's teamfight is nothing to scoff at. Drop an Acid Spray, Tidebringer, Torrent, Ghost Ship combo, as well as the Earth Splitter and the Echo Stomp. It's just not something that you want to fight into unless you absolutely have to. DD trying to find out Fly. He's out alone.
He's got No Tail next to him. He stuttered on it and decided not to take the chance. And could have very nearly blown him up. Fly not very tanky at all. 800 HP on him as of right now. But LGD continuing to play very patient, not taking unnecessary risks.
Looks like a Fly and No Tail have picked up a gem. In the meantime, trying to secure some side of the map for them. But again, they're still contained into the area immediately outside of their T3.
BKB now up on the Nature's Prophet, so continuing to live up to his namesake. Now atop the net worth chart. And Book 3, Deso, BKB, all up before 30 minutes. Not a bad showing.
Alchemist still fairly tanky though, 1400 HP, especially with his armlet and chemical rage activated. It is extremely difficult to kill if they don't stun lock him. What they did over here was a storm pull into a Nyx stun, into a Dragon Tail stun. You just can't survive that sort of damage. But if he's able to get his BKB off, he can survive for a decent amount, especially combined with the rum from Kuka's Ghost Ship. So, I mean, Fnatic's not completely out of this game. They are huge underdogs though. 9-22 is the kill score in favor of LGD. 20,000 gold lead 30 minutes in, and they might be working on their first T1 over here, but Storm Spirit doesn't actually have a TP scroll, and that's why they're pushing.
Rabbit there in time to defend. Storm actually picked up a Shiva's guard as well, so adding some more team fight potential and survivability to their composition. And they have to go ahead and send a couple home. They know it's going to end up getting pushed by Zhao 8 down in bottom.
That's a free T3. They can't do anything about it.
And yep, we actually see AUI caught out. Rabbit and Yao are there, trying to take down the tier 1. He's going to try to TP away. They get the deny. They won't be able to get the kill, but down here we see Fly picked off from the jump by Zhao 8 in the meantime.
Yeah, Fly had actually killed the Necrobook, and when you're Crystal Maiden with 800 HP is killing a Necrobook, he's going to be very easy pickings.
Tier 3 in mid ends up dropping in the meantime. And really just being outmaneuvered. LGD just making the right decisions and basically putting Fnatic into positions where no matter what decision they make, they're going to lose something.
Yep, that is the thing about LGD. They're playing very smartly. They're not putting themselves in bad positions. They're forcing Fnatic to make very bad trades. And it's not like Fnatic's generally choosing the lesser of two evils, but at the same time, that happens like every couple of minutes. They trade one hero here and there. They give a free Roshan. They take damage on a T3 without getting anything in exchange. And eventually, they're going to fall too far behind. About 22,000 gold difference for LGD. This gold and experience lead has really not slowed down since like 10 minutes into the game. Zhao 8 will pick up a lucky regeneration rune too to fill up his 1,800 mana pool. And
the items should be in place right about now. DDC only needs about another 200 gold, and he'll have his scepter up. Rabbit completed his Assault Cuirass some time ago. And all of these late game items coming out just a little early for Fnatic's taste, I'm sure.
Rabbit is invis.
Trying to find a
No Tail's actually forced himself up there.
No Tail in some trouble, spotted out, and here comes Storm Spirit right on top of him. Not even sure how he got himself up there.
He forced staff to try and kill the ward, but he should not have done that. He should have just waited for Crystal Maiden to do it.
And paying the price for a little bit of cheekiness. Here we go. Rax in mid should be some fairly easy pickings. AUI is going to move in. He's going to Assault Cuirass and a BKB of his own. And he actually blows it up on himself. And they're going to jump on him right after. Huge mistake out of AUI. And he's down for quite some time. Boat will catch on one, but GG called off of that. Couple of costly mistakes. Trixie. No Tail rather, force-staffing himself greedily into that high position. And AUI finding himself with egg on his face with the unspent, unstable concoction. Truth be told, though, this game was not going Fnatic's way long before that, falling behind 8-0 before LGD finally ran away with it, 27-9 in 32 minutes and 41 seconds.
Yeah, and that's just pure snowball effect from the failed ganks in mid. They tried 2 times with 3 heroes to kill Rabbit, yet both those gank attempts failed, and LGD was able to turn that right around with a superstar on the back of a super farm Xiao 8. And I actually like the switch from Xiao 8 to Rabbit. I think Rabbit played a fantastic Dragon Knight that game.
Taking a look at the box scores, we can see, as you said, Rabbit playing a great Dragon Knight. We saw some poor performances out of Yao, but switching to Rabbit, going their way, 6-1 and 16, involved in 22 of 27 kills by the time all was said and done. Storm Spirit by Xiao 8 came out quite effective as well, 2 and 15, involved in 21 of those 27. And when you look at the scores for Fnatic, 1 and 5 on Trixie's Bristleback, 1 and 7 on Demon's Kunkka. Just can't have that. And you know, AUI farmed for as long as he could, 2, 4, and 7. Can't really lay the blame on him. Just kind of a mediocre performance across the board for Fnatic. So looking ahead to our 3rd game and what it could end up being our final game if LGD is able to shut the door, what can we expect?
I think Fnatic needs to just have a more successful early game. I think most of the times that they have great success is when No Tilt and Fly yield a lot of kills in the early game and just let Demon just have complete control of the game to the point where the opponent's mid hero just is scared to go down into the river. Once they can achieve that, he has pretty much free farm of the lane because they're always just scared, oh, they could be smoked up the hill and we have no idea. So once they get to that point, then Demon can farm comfortably and then they can go around accomplishing other tasks. But they never even got that from the get-go. They tried to gank Rabbit twice in mid, that didn't happen, and then Storm got free farm in the meantime. Alchemist got free farm too, but Alchemist, he was sitting on a very large pile of gold. He got his armlet and his treads, but by that time, so much of the damage had been done. It was 8-0 in favor of LGD at one point in the game, and they also played it very fantastically and very patiently too. They took out the Roshans pretty much uncontested without even risk of it going Fnatic's way too, so they were very good at starving them out.
Looking ahead, Fnatic finds themselves in a very familiar position. 1 game away from elimination, they need to win 2 to walk out of here champions. We'll find out if they're up to the task or if LGD will remain perfect here on the HyperX D2L. Stick with us, we'll be right back.